Dringo Rich is here. Just finished the podcast. Gonna go pee and grab the beer. And I'll bring on your, what's it called before the show?
Side host.
No, it's like the warm-up act. Or
yeah, the warm-up.
All right, there you go.
Opening act. Yeah.
All right.
Who is the opening act? The opening act is me, Brandon. Happy Friday. Be Pooch 13. Shelby Lowry. Sean just had an amazing podcast with this guy named Casey, at Casey, one word. He is basically the voice of the Gen Z podcasting community. He brings on huge guests like Robert Greene, author of 48 Laws of Power, Rick Ross, the creator of Twitch, of Chipotle. He talks to like huge names, and he's only 20 years old. And he's going to help us get huge guests. So Sean is about to be huge. Rachel Doblin just joined. Any questions? Sean is getting the beer right now. And yeah. Best question wins $50. Rachel, Shelby, any questions? Molly, any questions? Hello, Rachel. Are you still working or are you like at home? Are you going to try to win the $50? Be Pooch. You had a lot of questions last week. Bring them in. You could win. Alright, my time has came to an end almost. What's up with these Gen Zs being so money? Yes! Okay, so there's a lot of things going on right now, but basically people my age, 20s and up, need to step their game up. These Gen Z people are taking over with their knowledge, their money-making abilities, and there's like this new their ability to adapt to new technology and NFTs and new trends. Like, everybody need to learn. Keep learning. How are you doing, Brandon? I'm doing amazing. Everything's great. I'm loving life. And I'm amazing. Thank you, Molly. I'm done working.
You gotta get the prop up.
Good job. Alright, questions for Sean. There's $50 on board. Damn, why do I have to be a millennial? Sarah Baby said, why are these Gen Z people so good at money, being so money savvy?
Welcome to the smartest, the dumbest smart show on the internet. Drink Go Rich. What was it? Why are Gen Z people so good with money?
Yeah, why are they so money savvy?
Well, I'm not sure if every single I hate judging people by their generation, right? It's like, oh yeah, let's just group together. Like, we're not supposed to group people in groups, right? So let's just group together everybody 17 to 22. Like, no, not every single person is the same. But I think it might just seem like that because they're on social media with TikTok and, I mean, geez, I just did a podcast with Casey Adams, 20 years old. He has a huge podcast. And he's definitely smart with money. He's probably doing very well.
He knows how to like get group seating and raise money.
Yeah, he's in like venture capital.
Like,
I mean, he's a top of the crop of that community.
Let's talk facts though from the podcast.
All right, yeah, let's debunk. What's the word? Like,
let's just review
the podcast. All right.
So,
you think it was good?
Yeah, it was a really good podcast. He has connections, man. David Meltzer's cousin. He's dating Debbie Meltzer's cousin.
Yeah.
He knows Larry King's son.
Well, but he
met Larry King in the mall.
It's not like something he was like privileged into. Like,
no.
He hustled to do this. He's really good at networking. One thing I picked out that he said on Thanksgiving, he sends video messages to like some of his previous guests and people he knows.
Cute. Yeah.
Like, he is amazing at like kind of keeping in touch.
He's like, on Thanksgiving, I'm thankful.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you. Yeah. So he is very, very good at networking in the world of podcasting. And I think we were talking about how does Casey get all these great guests? We kind of understand a little bit. And I mean, he's humble, he's smart, but he's talented when it comes to the networking world.
It's 20% right time, right place too.
Yeah. But I mean, to be in the right place, you have to
have the right abilities to execute.
So look up Casey Adams. He's Instagram
He's legit.
at Casey. He's legit. Like there's nothing scammy about him.
Yeah.
And he's talented. And also his business is what he does, starting with a podcast and his personal brand. So like he has all of his time and attention focused on that network gain.
He has a little bit better formula than you because he started from podcasting and now everything's synergized to it. You started from...
whatever. It can go the other way, too. It can go the other way.
We're trying to still form how we can get...
I like YouTube better than podcasting still. Like, he said he's trying to get into it, but... It was good. It was good. I got some questions here. My dream podcast guest? Honestly, Mark Cuban. And he's not ungettable. He does podcasts and stuff like that.
Mark Cuban just started a business that was NFTs. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I'm talking about? You follow it.
I don't know. I've probably followed it.
I think
he really invested in it.
He's like the founder of the Instagram group NFTs.
But Mark Cuban is my dream podcast guest because he's probably my favorite person, and I wanted to run for president very much. I don't even agree with all his politics. It's him, so I'm like, all right, that's good. Millennials are a mix of old school and new school because we have technology but world experience. Millennials are the greatest generation.
It says the Mark Cuban company, NFT.
Mark Cuban company. He's probably invested in it, yeah. This is what we're looking at, this NFT company.
It's crazy how
Do you guys know about NFTs? It's obviously what everyone's talking about right now.
If you don't know what it is, you're
if you don't know what NFTs are, come on, get on.
You're 15 years behind.
Yeah, what are you? An old school millennial? Yeah, dude, millennials are the best, dude. We got cell phones in 10th grade-ish. Are you millennial?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a millennial. You're 27,
Gen Z's 22 and under?
22 and under, yeah, that's what I thought. What's the biggest challenge so far for your new warehouse? Well, we're still operating in my old warehouse, so just getting everything over there and spending money on repairs and money that I'm not capitalizing on yet. So it'll all come together. It's gonna be great. Best advice you've ever received. Favorite advice to give. Best advice I ever received. I said this on a podcast recently. Was from my Uncle Robert, who doesn't, he's not spitting out great advice all the time, but he just said, if not me, who? And it kind of hit me at the right time because it's basically saying what are you doing back there?
I'm just getting the Reaper.
It's basically saying people accomplish great things in this world, and they're not all Albert Einstein. If not me, if I can't be the next Mark Cuban, who is? Someone else similar to me? If not me, who? It's my favorite advice from my uncle. It hit me at the right time, and I love that piece of advice. And my favorite advice to give is probably just maybe this is from Brandon recently, but learn that pain is a good thing, and great things take a long time to accomplish. And if you're gonna accomplish great things, you're gonna have to go through pain and challenges and obstacles, and learn to take that pain and challenges and obstacles and love it. I have a little trigger in my mind when things are going bad, that I'm this is good, there's something good about this. So I get excited when things go bad, and I don't try to make things go bad, but if you can learn that bad times are where strength and character is built from, then you can be an incredible person. So that's my favorite advice to give. Love Mark Cuban. You would be a great guest judge on Shark Tank. If you had a chance, would you be a shark? Hell yeah. But you gotta have billions, or you gotta be... if someone wanted $50,000 for 10%, I could be in that game. But if they want
they want your money back.
Yeah. But if they want $500,000 for 5%, I'd be I can't really swing that. One of my funniest things about Shark Tank, I think, is Damon. He's so cheap. He just never invests. He never puts any money up. And I actually know a real life story of this guy I met in this entrepreneur group in Charleston who had a product called the Bev Boy. And he came out on Shark Tank, and it's a floating beer koozie. And they all made fun of him. They made fun of him on Shark Tank. But he ended up swinging it around, and he got a deal. He got a deal from Damon. And it was cool, a good episode, and I knew him from the episode, and I met him, and I actually helped him sell some products on Amazon, but he actually never got the money from Damon. He never got the money. So sometimes after the show ends and the deal is made on the show, they're not signing papers. It doesn't always like go through. So like it's funny that Damon never makes deals, and then the one deal that I know about that he made from the person, the money actually never went through. So I feel like Damon like just never invests. So yeah, I would love to do that. Of course, I want to like be on TV and like be in a big audience. Like hell yeah. What's your greatest fear?
Being forgotten.
Yeah, death, because then I don't control my legacy after I die. And like, the whole thing you live for is like, going forward, like there's so much ahead of you. And I've always said, there's so much ahead of me now. When I'm 50, I'm going to say there's so much ahead of me. When I'm 70, I'm going to say, I'm always going to have the attitude that there's so much ahead of me. And that's going to be one of the things that keeps me going forever. I've already decided. My brain already knows it. So when I'm dead, I can't do that anymore because there's literally nothing ahead of me. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to die. I don't fear much. I don't have a problem with fear because I've practiced like overcoming it many times. But if I had to answer the question, I would say dying. I don't want to die. Like, I'm not cool with dying. Like, if I'm ever like in a bad state and I'm on like a ventilator and like you can artificially keep me alive. Keep me alive. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how many family members have to drive to the hospital every day. Like, I want every minute, even if I'm a vegetable. It's funny, I told my brother that. He's like, yo, if I'm ever... Not to be sad, my dad passed away from ALS. And I mean, my brother talked about it. He's like, if I'm ever in that situation, like, pull the plug. And I was like, yeah, if I'm ever in that situation, you keep that shit plugged in. You keep it plugged in, dude. And
in your brain, you'd be like, I'm getting out of this.
Yeah. They're gonna come up with a cure any day now. Yeah. So yeah, I like life. I just love life, right? So the opposite of life is death. And
would you freeze your body for 50 years until they found the cure?
Yeah.
Kind of Austin Powers.
Dude, I mean, we were just talking about today on the podcast and a little bit here how lucky we are to live in this day and age. If you ever wanted to get a message out, and even 1985, flyers, newspapers, radio, you know how much barriers to entry there are to get your message out through those things? Yes. Also an advantage of all this technology, the blockchain, the internet. There are people with anti-aging, like, and living forever. Like, life extension is definite, but like, one of the reasons I started a podcast was because apparently if there's enough audio of you recorded throughout your lifetime, you're going to be able to take all that audio, slam it into some AI, and essentially create like a hologram or whatever the technology is. Your mind, with all the times they have you thinking and talking in real life, like right now, all of that recorded, you can slam it into an AI, and I'll be dead, but I'll still like be able to give an opinion in like real life. There's no end to the possibilities for like how you can live on longer in many different ways. Freezing your body, keeping your brain alive, many different things, but like I'm all engaged in any type of anti-aging, live long forever. I have no shame in wanting to live forever. Have you brought up how college is a necessity? Yeah, I talk about that all the time. Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I've never met him. I'm just kidding. Jeff Bezos. Mark Zuckerberg, they went to college. Yeah, I talk about that all the time. Actually, as an entrepreneur, I learned nothing from college. But if someone asks me, and I don't really know that much about them, they say, should I go to college or not? My default answer is yes. College is a great experience. It's healthy for the average human, the average American, to go to college because you get out of your hometown, you have to do your own laundry, you basically like get to learn about yourself at that perfect age, 18, 19, where like you're growing up. I love the experience of college. The specific industry knowledge of college is kind of like unnecessary. You can learn so much from the internet these days. I like college, and I don't want to take college out of our society. I want to keep it in our society. But they need to make it cheaper and figure out a better way to kind of do it. But I love the idea of the average American, 18 years old, leaving their hometown and going somewhere for a set period of time around new people, new environment, new experience on their own. That's healthy, and I want to keep that as part of society. March Madness, who's your Final Four? It sucks. College basketball, like, without fans, it doesn't have the same, like, character to it. If you could choose an age to stay forever, what age would it be? I mean, honestly, like, my age, I'm 30, am I 31? I think I'm 31. 28 to 37, something like that. Nature versus nurture. What gives someone the entrepreneurial spirit? Is it inherent or learned? Where do you get yours? Oh, that is, like, my favorite question. It's the ultimate question. I've had a couple podcasts talking about nature versus nurture. I mean, the answer is annoyingly both. There's definitely people who are born to be entrepreneurs. Like, if you see an 8-year-old going door to door selling something or having a lemonade stand, which, by the way, lemonade stands, a thing of the past.
Sure.
Unless the lemonade stand gets a card reader. I love young entrepreneurs. I'm fascinated by them. I have sadly driven past probably 4 to 5 lemonade stands in the past 4 to 5 years, desperately wanting to go, but I just didn't have any cash. I don't have cash. So that's one thing. If you're starting a lemonade stand, get a card reader or little Square Pay or whatever, because no one has cash anymore. But it also can be learned. Like Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs, and Sean Lowry, because I mentioned my dad, they all had problems with their. Actually, Jeff Bezos didn't really. Steve Jobs was adopted. Elon Musk had to travel from South Africa to commute, immigrate to America. I feel like a lot of people with kind of rough childhoods, if they have the right nature. No, if they have the right nature, the nurture of a rough childhood where you move around and get banged around with different situations can bring that out of you. And I think that kind of happened to me. I don't know if I wasn't always entrepreneurial as a kid. There's one time I ran a March Madness tournament at my school, and I had $500 cash in my pocket in 7th grade. And actually, the principal found out about it, and I had to give all the money back and shut it down. But that was kind of entrepreneurial. I didn't do a lot of entrepreneurial stuff as a kid, but around 19 it snapped for me, and then I've been an entrepreneur ever since. Is that young enough to be considered nature? I don't know.
I did as a kid.
You were entrepreneurial as a kid?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Elementary school. I was called the Bubblegum Hustler.
The Bubblegum Hustler?
That was my nickname.
I
would buy bubblegum and resell it.
You buy bubblegum and resell it?
Yeah. With my mom's money.
With your mom's money. See, that's honestly, one time I had a lemonade stand as a kid, and my mom was so mad at me because we took her money, we made a little bit of profit, and we bought chips with the profit, and we're eating the chips. She's like, where's my money back?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that was not entrepreneurial, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But did your investor ask for the return? It's because I feel like a young entrepreneur might be let me pay,
I remember how I did it. It was funny.
How'd you do it? How did you sell? Did you?
I saw a market.
No, but physically, did you go person to person? Or did you put up a flyer?
They just knew. I had the bags of all types of candy and bubble gum, and I would just sell during class.
During class?
Yeah.
I'm sure the teacher loved that.
Yeah. And then I would make enough to rebuy and make $10, $15.
Yeah. And did you ever pay your mom back?
No.
I never paid my mom back either for a lemonade stand. Nature versus nurture, incredible question, and I've deeply analyzed that question many different times at many different ages. It's my favorite question. There's a little bit of both, but I love that question. Nature versus nurture.
Did you see my question?
No, what was it? Oh, here it is. If you only had $50 left, but still had all your assets, what would you do with your $50? Well, my assets are the company.
Yeah.
So I would just do nothing differently, and then I would access credit lines and credit cards and keep running the company. That's not what you're looking for, I know.
Yeah.
I would buy a stripper, Brandon.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what you're looking
strange
for.
question. I wanted a strange answer. Yeah.
All right, if you want a strange answer, I would get a stripper. I don't know. I'm trying to give Brandon the answer he wants here. Do you think life skills like financial literacy should be taught in public school or by parents, and why? It should be taught in public school and by parents. This is like one of the other... Sarah, baby, your questions are good. They're like common entrepreneurship questions. Like the fact that they don't teach about like credit cards in high school is just
Confusing.
so stupid. Like what? Like
Almost like manipulative.
financial literacy is always adapting and changing, and like I didn't notice how I didn't say balance a checkbook. If you're balancing a checkbook, you need financial literacy. There's no reason to balance a checkbook. Go on freaking Wells Fargo or whatever the app, and all your shit's right there. Like you don't need to balance a checkbook anymore.
That was like 20 years
Yeah, but like they used to say, like they don't teach you how to balance a checkbook in college. Well, I hope they're not teaching that. Education has trouble with things that change a lot. You know, like history doesn't necessarily change. Teaching about science and government and biology and chemistry and even psychology doesn't change. But like marketing, I graduated with a marketing degree. Taught me nothing. And the things they taught were outdated. And financial literacy does change. Like, should they be teaching about cryptocurrency now? Balancing a checkbook's a good example because we don't do that anymore. So, like, I think the reason maybe they don't do it is because the curriculum changes too slow for the real life situations, and they can't keep up. So they're just like, screw it, we're not doing it. Yeah. I didn't drink that much. Let's take a chug, everyone. Happy Friday.
Yeah. You ain't drinking.
Cheers. Bing.
You're trying to have a sober Friday.
I talked about doing sober March. Notice I'm not doing it. I'm gonna do a sober month this year, but I have Shelby's family's visiting and Shelby's friends are visiting, so like I didn't pick this month.
Have you ever tried the non-alcoholic beer? Like, have you ever?
What
tried...
am I, look like a psycho?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why the fuck would I drink non-alcoholic
Like, why would
beer?
you pick that? Yeah.
I mean, I would just have like water or soda or like. No, I've never tried it. Well, I've probably tasted it, but like, I don't have a problem. Like that's actually non-alcoholic beer is, I think, good for like alcoholics. Like they get to feel social, they get that taste. So I think it's there's a benefit to it, but
I'm saying if you did try to do a sober, like maybe.
No, if I did a sober March, I would not be
You
drinking.
just like drink
alcoholic
water.
beer.
Yeah, just
Like,
drink
what?
water. Yeah.
Best advice for someone looking for a marketing job, aka me, where to look, things to do. Marketing job is a weird one, right? Like, what is marketing? My advice would be specialize in something in marketing. And then it's like, okay, social media marketing. Like, so marketing companies, I remember I graduated with a marketing degree, and before I got my first job that I quit after 3 months, I got roped into this like marketing company. It was called like 7 Marketing, and I did the interview with them, and I almost took the job, but I didn't. But it was like going door to door. Like, marketing is not a good word to look for a job with, because what marketing is on like a big sense is like, what's my market? What's my product? How do they connect? Like, if you're going to be entry level, you don't have the cachet to make those type of decisions in a company that, even if it has 10 employees, but especially not if it's like 500 employees. Like, so what do you want to do? Marketing and sales are related. Sales, if you put in sales, the jobs that are going to come up to you are going to be selling credit card processing and doing insurance. Insurance is an interesting career. I had a insurance internship that I did. It's like selling insurance. It starts with like selling to your friends and family. But within marketing, what job do you want to be on phones talking to people and making sales? Do you want to be writing copy? That's a good one. Writing, and what that means is like for a product page, we have that. I need a copywriter. Like, we need blogs and we need content, but also like if we have a new product, we need a little description. And then every time we do like a Facebook post and we put a link to the product, we have to write copy. All right, so we're doing an Easter post. We have a great picture, we have a great link, it's on a great price, it's a great deal. I need to write something right there, right? So like, Shelby and Rachel always make fun of me because like I recently wrote like, hip hop hooray, Easter stuff, $15 off or something like that. Like, that's a specific thing within marketing, writing copy. So think about when you sit down at your desk for your job, what do you want to do? Do you want to talk? Do you want to write? Do you want to think? And then button it down, because if you're saying, hey, I'm looking for a marketing job, do you have one? No one's going to answer you, because that's not a job. You have to get a little more specific.
I have another question.
I'll get back to this. Social media content creator is what I was looking for. Searching marketing gets the scam jobs, yes. Yeah, social media content creator, though, that's also like, are you gonna take the, all right, so are you gonna be the model? All right, so pictures and videos. Are you gonna be the one that's on camera, or are you gonna be the one that is taking the video behind it? Are you going to be, is your skill gonna be editing, or is your skill gonna be, social media marketing is, what part of it are you gonna do?
Very vast.
Yeah, what part of it are you gonna do? Content creating. Okay, what kind of content? What part are you going to do? Are you going to be the voice and the talent or are you going to be the one? Rachel, for us, she finds the models. That's a very valuable thing she does. That's social media marketing. She doesn't want to take the pictures, but she takes the pictures, but she finds people. So that's very valuable, because once she takes the pictures, edits the pictures. 2, she gets the people to get the pictures. It's creepy if I reach out to, hey girls, you want to come take some pictures? It's better to have a peer do that. So she adds a lot of value in that way. She's essentially a content creator in a way. But now Rachel does not write copy. She doesn't at all. And I wish she would a little more sometimes, because she does a list of product, and I wish she would put a little blurb in there. But she's great. But pick out your piece. What'd you say, Brandon? What is PR in 2021?
Yeah, well, Casey said something. Do you have any PR? I know what
so
PR
what he
stands
meant by
for.
He means an article written about you by a publication.
Gotcha.
It's an outdated term.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I said 2021. Yeah.
It's an outdated term, because, like I was saying before, I want to start, get a message out there. Okay, you literally needed to go to newspapers to get your message out there. Literally go to a newspaper is the only way to get a mass message out. And there was PR companies that had connections with newspapers, would find clients, you'd pay them to get the connection. They put you in touch with publications. Who has read a magazine lately?
Shit.
I watch some news, but I see it on YouTube. PR's the middleman between the people and the person. And hello, the internet, it's eliminated PR. Now, there is still, if ABC does a story on you,
yeah,
there's still some credibility there. Yes, because they do have, if the ABC wasn't a cable channel and they were just a YouTube channel, they still have a big audience. They still have a lot of eyeballs. Sorry, some douche was calling me. They still have eyeballs. They're still valuable, but technically, PR is a published article about you in a publication, whatever, And there's still a little credibility there. There used to be a lot more credibility.
And he's saying that that helps with verification?
Yes. Casey, the guy, was saying it helps to get verified if you have some PR. Meaning other people talking about you in a established way, showing that you're a verifiable by a source that they know.
Yeah.
If I have 20 of my best friends say yeah, this guy's good. Okay, they don't trust that. But if ABC says this guy's good, that's verified, because they're verified. They know ABC. They trust them.
And that's why making a book is kind of helping yourself.
It does.
Right?
Having a book is credible.
Yeah. You
say in your post to be obsessed with your market, but how do you know you're in the right market? Meaning a market that is not oversaturated and still growing.
Who asked that?
Sarah, baby.
Oh,
it's a good question.
She consumed your content.
Okay, so for United Monograms, our market, is it monograms or is it clothing?
Monograms.
But in the monogram monogram we're a big player. In the clothing market, we're not. But people wear clothes, so it could be monogrammed or not. So we kind of are in the monogram market. And then you can a lot of different levels to a market, but don't be worried about oversaturation, because every market is oversaturated. Wait, Brandon's going crazy. What?
What if you sell NFTs of people's monograms?
Dude, I've thought about that. I've thought about that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna get back to this. But every market's saturated. A lot of problems that people have when they want to start a business is they want to find an idea that no one else has. Good fucking luck. It's not gonna happen unless it's the armadillo. That's from last week. But you're gonna have to compete. You're gonna have to go into a market that already exists. If you do have a product or service that nobody knows about, which is very unlikely, well, then you have another problem, the education gap. No one knows about it, so why are they going to buy it? People know about monograms, so like this, people know about shirts, people know about clothing because they wear it every day. So like, it's almost a saturated market is almost good because there's a market for it. People are buying that every day. Billions of dollars are being spent on the thing you're selling. So good, you don't even have to educate a customer on who you are. Just get in front of them with the right product. Don't be worried about oversaturation. But it's going to be so hard. But don't obsess. I mean, if it's like a technology, like if you're selling yellow page ads, like, yeah, your market's gone. Like, but what I always say about monograms and clothing is like people are always going to be wearing clothing, right? So like we just have to adapt how we get in front of our customers from a marketing standpoint, and we have to adapt with styles and stuff like that. But like the core of it is as long as people are still wearing clothing in real life, then we still have a market. So like, if you sold like landline telephones, you'd be out of business. So like, you do want to think about like, whatever you're selling, will it exist forever? Realistically, will it exist forever? In that case, if you're trying to build a company for forever, if the foundation of it will exist forever, then you're good. And then you just get into the market and you just gotta claw. It's hard. You said or create a new market. I said that. Education gap. Headhunters. Temp agencies do a great job. Interesting. Walt Disney closing all their retail stores to focus on their online presence. Do you think it's a representation of where e-commerce has had it? And brick and mortar will become a thing of the past? Yeah.
Yeah, that's been
obviously.
Going.
Yeah. Yeah. The only e-commerce store that is failing is the one that sells bricks and mortar. Because, I don't know, man. Like, okay, you want clothes, right? What's your first instinct? Go to the mall, or is it a buy online? Now, I get that the mall's like an experience. Some people like shopping. Like, Shelby likes going to Nordstrom Rack. I think they have like deals and like, just even grocery shopping online, right?
Yeah.
It's so much more effective because you can type in what you want and filter. Like, if you want to get a certain amount of saturated fat in a bread, like you got to dig through it at the grocery store and then read the little label, but you can like search it on the grocery store.
That's true.
So this is actually awesome. And I noticed this recently. It's one of my favorite things that has happened to me recently. But once in a while, you do got to go to the store, right? Like, you just need something right away. So, Walmart, right? The Walmart app. You go into Walmart and you want something, right? I recently needed, like, a toaster at Walmart, and I was in a rush. Or something like that. Like a lamp. You go to the Walmart app, and you type in what you want. They'll give you the aisle. And they give you a map of how to get there. That blew my mind, and I was so happy. Because Walmart's so big.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if lamps are in like home goods or electronics. So like, I'm walking in and I'm trying to like, okay, home goods, electronics, groceries. I'm like, you type it into the Walmart app and it tells you the aisle. And if you can't find the aisle, you ask someone, where's A11? And they send you, but also they have a little map. And if you have like the turned off, then you just ask someone, but it's so effective for shopping inside. So if you ever do have a retail store, because there is a place for it. Like perishable items, and I hate getting avocados from the grocery store and they pick them for you. Yeah. I want to pick my own avocados. Like I want to pick my own apples. Like, if you pick 4 red apples, they're not going to give you the best ones. So there is a place for physical shopping. There'll always be a little spot for it. It's definitely going to be maybe like 15 to 20% of all product sales might be at a store. But the store's got to be digital. They got to have Amazon has the thing where you walk out and it just hits your phone and charges you right away. Or like something where you digitally shop, where like they give you the aisle. Like you got to make it an e-commerce experience at a physical location. And that is the best bet for retail.
What are your feelings about self-checkouts?
I love them.
I just know like small town like where I'm from, Sumter, a lot of people say they don't like that. They don't want to support the Walmarts because they all have self-checkouts, and they're like, well, they're not providing jobs, so like I'm not getting paid to do my own groceries, so like some people don't like that.
I mean, the grocery person is lazy, but they have a point about the jobs. Yeah. I mean, Walmart is a big employer, and they have the technology to eliminate most of their employees.
Yeah, automation's here.
They're keeping them out of like goodness, like out of a sake for Walmart and McDonald's hire a lot of people, and they're doing that out of like good for the world. Yeah. They could eliminate those people very quickly. So I get their point, but like, can you blame Walmart for having self-checkout? It's faster. I always go to self-checkout. Always.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, self-checkout.
Like, because it's just faster.
I just know some people, they generally don't go because it's like a moral thing.
Yeah, and the job part makes sense. Yeah. If they're not doing my own grocery part, that's just lazy. Yeah. Because it is faster if you do it yourself. And then, you wait for your lane to open up. Yeah.
The world is changing.
The world is shifting. The world is changing. The world is emerging. I love self-checkout, baby. Kroger.
I haven't seen a Kroger in a minute.
What else is good? Sarah Baby's in the lead. What else are you guys thinking about? What else are you guys talking about? What else is on your guys' minds? What else is important to everybody? It's I'm a thinker, and I'm always podcasting and talking, and like, it's always like, and Brandon asked me, he's like, what do you think about? What are you talking about? Like, NFTs. Anyone know about them?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's funny, I'm like already like a little bored with it a little bit, just because like, sometimes the conversation is like, well, what are they or whatever. Claire, she wants to be, what was your question that you asked, Claire? Sarah Baby's coming in hot with the entrepreneur questions. But yeah, I'm curious if you guys know what they are. What else?
Was it really that hard to set up your wallet and get on Super Rarible and all that stuff? Like,
yeah, I was.
Even Casey said it was like it took some time.
You just gotta like not give up. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was like literally like login stuff. Like, it wasn't logging in on one computer. It was logging in on the other computer, and like you had to.
Yeah.
You just gotta do it, and you figure it out. You think social media and the technology-driven world we live in is desensitizing the use and replacing human interaction?
I mean, yeah, it has to.
It's increasing human interaction as far as humans interacting with each other. But if you mean like the physical touch, like, I don't know, on my podcast today with Casey, do you feel like we connected?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good question, and like I've thought about that a lot too. I mean, I think a better question for that is like,
you can't replace the handshake. You never can do that.
You kind of can't, like, like dating or something like that is like a little different because like that has like a little more to do with like touch and kiss. Like if I saw Casey right now, I wouldn't have I would have given him like a handshake. That'd be cool. And like you do get a little more vibes from being in front of someone. But I don't think we're like screwed. I don't think like we're all fucked. We're all gonna be robots. We're getting desensitized. Like, I don't think that's the case. It's definitely increasing like how much more access we have to information, how smarter we are. It's making that better. It's improving knowledge for sure. Social media. It's improving people's knowledge. That is undoubtable. Quicker knowledge, faster knowledge, more accessible knowledge. Now, if you're dumb and you're taking in the wrong knowledge, that's on you. That's not social media's fault. If you have a opinion and you think it, the first thing you should do is look, what's the other opinion? And that is true in any time, any era, anything. People say it makes you one-sided and your feed shows you stuff you want to see. That's true, but just don't be an asshole. Don't be an idiot. But no, I don't think it's a problem. But I'm not saying there's no value in having human-to-human interaction. There is, but I don't think that social media is ruining it. I don't. prefer people text to phone conversation. People prefer text. Well, yeah, I prefer text. But like, there's a place for a phone call. But the thing about a phone call is like, it's like so intrusive. It's like, oh, this motherfucker thinks I can answer the call right now. Like a text, I can get back to you in like 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 1 minute. A phone call is so like, oh my God, like how abrasive of my mom to call me. Not like, I mean, and maybe that's a little different because I'm like kind of scheduled kind of in my head, but like, yeah, I mean, text, I think I like texting, but phone calls aren't that good either. Like a Zoom is close to human interaction, a FaceTime, there's more there. Like I've been told that, I think I have a terrible voice, whatever, but I've been told that like I have like a smile with my eyes. So I prefer video to adjust my voice. And if I could have just voice or text, I'm taking text because I'm good with the emojis and the dot. It's funny how like texting is a language. Like if someone ever texts me K, I think they hate me.
Of course
I do.
I hate that.
I think they hate me. I think they're, and me and Shelby know that. So if me and Shelby are ever actually mad at each other, we say K. And
yeah,
like,
I got K to each other.
yeah, and like sometimes like she'll talk to someone, I'll be like, yeah, and she'll be like, are you mad? I'm like, no, and then I have to send back like 3 smiley emojis. Then she knows that like I wasn't mad. I was just like being short and I was sorry. So like exclamation points show like you're not angry. Like, but there's things that do show you're angry. And there's also like the time in between too of text that like are part of the communication. Like you text someone back a day later, that kind of says like, hey, this is more of an email type thing. But if you see the typing in your and you see the typing you're typing, like that's conversation. Like I like for me, between phone calls, Zoom, and texting, it will go 1 Zoom, 2 texting, 3 phone calls. Pick up a phone if a person isn't answering the text. Pick up the phone if a person isn't answering the text. It's really important. Do you send handwritten thank you notes?
No.
Well, every week we give a free gift to one of our customers and we put a handwritten thank you note in to our packages. Like, who would I send a handwritten thank you note to, like, personally? Like, no. I want to know what is the modern day replacement of a handwritten thank you note? Not a text, but a video message. Like, a text with it, you hold the phone up and say, hey, thank you so much for this. Like, that, I think, is just as valuable as a handwritten message. A text is, like, one level beneath a handwritten message because it's a little more lazy. But a text that's not a call, it's not a FaceTime, it's just a text of a video, that's, I think, equivalent to a handwritten letter. I love when you send the handwritten notes from a person's purchase. Yeah, we do. I mean, we get the appeal of it. Obviously, like, we can't put in every package, but we get the appeal of it, and we try to do it at appropriate times. What about when you receive a gift for, like, Christmas from your in-laws? No,
I have a question.
I hate gifts.
I have a question.
What?
So you have competition in your space.
Yeah.
You in space. What is, like, the strategy to take away their audience and their, like, customers?
It's a bad strategy to obsess over your competition.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really focus too
much.
much.
A smear campaign?
Like, so a smear campaign would be one way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that would work in it works in politics.
Yeah.
Coke and Pepsi did, like, the Coke vs. Pepsi challenge.
Yeah.
Burger King, like Wendy's Twitter. Wendy's fast food has one of the best Twitter accounts. They are, like, fierce on there. They'll rip on, like, McDonald's and Burger King. Like, if you're going to be a dick, it has to be, like, part of your brand. You can't just, like, be a dick for a second.
Yeah.
And you can't really worry about the competition that much. But, like, you should know your market. You should understand what... I like to, like... I'm on Marley Lily's email list. That's our biggest competitor. And I like to just see what they're saying, see what they're doing. And, like, they do shoes, and, like, we don't do shoes. And, like, we do graphic monograms, they don't. So, like, we kind of got our little spaces there. If anything, it's, like, pay attention to what they're doing. And within the market, try to find a little piece that you can dominate. But, like, pause due to poor connection. Sorry, I said pause due to poor connection. But, like, you obsess over your customer, not your competition. Like, everyone can win. Like, and if you want your market to be bigger, so, like, your competition's good in a way. So you can't obsess over it.
Okay.
The younger generation is smarter and informed, but I feel like they have a tremendous amount of pressure to mature quickly and live up to an image.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that a bad thing? I mean,
Mental health might come
is
into it.
maturing quickly a bad thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's why? Why is maturing quickly a bad thing?
Because you like lose this like childlike innocence that kind of like can help create memories that were not as like, I don't know, adult.
That's kind of like, I could argue against that, but that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And now, what age? Like 11, 12? Because then you still have all those years of innocence before that.
22.
I think the younger generation is going to be better off, and I think the generation after that will be better off. I just think we're continually, exponentially going to get smarter every generation and have more years to implement what you know, and have more time to, like, fuck up. Like, I don't know, get addicted to heroin for 4 years, but then come back, but, like, you're only 28, and you still got the rest of your life ahead of you, and you're clean. Like, you have more time to fuck up, and you have more knowledge faster. Like, it's better to be younger in this world, I think, and are there a few downsides that if you really try, you can pick them out? Yeah. But I feel like most of the time, it's like parents being like, well, this is how I did it when I was a kid, and it was good. So, like, I want my kid to do the same things as me. Like, you don't think a 13-year-old wants to go to Disney World or 7? Like, it's still the same. Like, going to college at 18 is still going to be the same. Like, going to prom when you're 16 is still going to be always be just as important. Like, the same fundamental things, like your first pubic hair in your armpit, like, like things that we're still evolutionarily the same human beings, and we'll always have those same points in our life. And if you are more knowledgeable on prom when you're 15, that just means maybe you can't get a date, but you find out on social media that like a bunch of other people didn't have dates, and it's fine. That's actually a better thing than being like the only one of your friends without a date to prom, and you're crushed and devastated and wallowing away in your sadness. But like social media, you could type in prom no date, and you see other people that are like, you don't need a date, you're gonna be fine, and then you find a podcast about someone who didn't have a date to prom, and like it's almost like anything that is sad, you can find something to reassure you that it's all gonna be good, and that's important at a young age. So like that could be a positive way. Aaron Pat, what's up, bro? I always brought up to write thank you notes for a gift, being respectful and very appreciative. Yeah, and I agree that respect is important. Respect is important. But like you can show respect in other ways besides for that one specific method. Look at child celebrities. Well, there's a difference between fame and being an average kid with social media. And to speak on your previous statement, I think you should study your competition because you have to differentiate. Yeah, you should be knowledgeable about your competition. You shouldn't obsess over it, though. You shouldn't obsess. And, like, you want to differentiate. But, like, with monograms, we're already differentiating because we're, like, a clothing business that sells monograms. And now if there's one other person that sells monograms, we do differentiate from them. But you can't obsess. But, yes, understand differentiation. Understand the market. Understand your niche. Don't obsess over it, though. Just go to prom by yourself, baby. So much more fun. Clay, did you go to prom by yourself? It's all right. Yeah. Awkward silence, radio silence. You know the phrase radio silence? You know, it's like you're not ever supposed to have silence on the radio. Because, like, if someone tunes to that channel, they're going to be like, oh, it's a dead channel or whatever.
You might lose them forever.
Yeah. Well, not forever, because the radio is just like, oh my God. Okay, so Brandon has my old car, and he drives around in it. This maniac, this psychopathic freak, doesn't have a way to listen to anything on his phone in the car.
I live in silence.
But you said you listen to the radio.
Rarely, but yes.
Just like get a goddamn jack and then listen to podcasts.
I know.
Listen to any song you want. Listen to any podcast you want. Listen to anything in the world. Sit in silence if that's what you prefer. But like the radio, commercials. Oh, dude, I was at the gym this morning and I didn't go to my regular gym because I wasn't in the class, so I went to the gym. So I had a phone. And I went to ESPN because I wanted to watch sports there. I got caught up in the news.
Yeah.
Hit it on the app on my ESPN. Commercials, 4 minutes. I hate commercials. With the recent pet boom due to the pandemic, would you consider adding pet apparel to your offerings?
Ooh.
I don't know if Rachel's. It doesn't seem like Rachel's on here. She was supposed to get some pictures with this pet stuff. Thing is, like, not all dogs have like middle names, you know. So like, I feel like with dogs, You wanted like the name,
Didn't
like, not
Kristen-
necessarily like a monogram.
Kristen said she had middle name for her
Yeah.
pets, yeah.
But we've thought about it. My kids weren't allowed to have a boyfriend or girlfriend until they were 18. Concentrate on your studies. Yeah, that's what they told you.
Yeah, they're behind your back. You know?
There might also be a baby boom. I hope so, man. We got plenty of room. Man. You ever go on a flight and just look down? Most of the time, there's nothing there. We need people. Bring it on, man. Bring on the people.
There's still millions of small towns in the U.S.
I think Mommy and Me makes sense. Yeah. It's hard. Here's one thing, like, so speaking of studying your competition, right? Marley Lily, they created Marley Lily Kids. It was like a separate site, really focused on kids. And it doesn't seem like it did as well. I don't have the numbers. It doesn't seem like it did as well as I thought it would do.
Yeah.
Because I think they like had an Instagram for it. They just kind of went downhill. The thing about kids and monograms is what do a lot of parents do with kids? They pass down old clothes, right? Like, monograms and kids actually don't go together like that well for the sake of like the kid grows out of it quickly and then you can't do much with it because it has their monogram on it. So like, I feel like everyone thinks that kids and monograms should be a bigger market, including Marley Lily. We sell tons of kids stuff. Great stuff.
Well, I got a question. It's going to be the $50 winning question.
All right. Brandon's got a question.
Why do you think women psychologically like monograms?
Why do we think women psychologically like monograms?
Mm-hmm. Why do they like showing their initials?
Well, okay. I mean, the fact that monograms are a woman-based thing isn't something I completely understand. It was not a market that I created. It's a market that we kind of found. And specifically, like in the South, monograms are more popular in the South than other places. I've thought about this, and I don't really know. I think there might be something to, like, you get married, you get a new last name, you get a new monogram. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I think maybe, like, it started with, like, bags, right? Like, guys don't carry bags.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, monogram bags
help them identify their bags.
But also women have bags,
mm-hmm.
right? And like a lot of monogram like tablecloths are like it's like or if you have like a family monogram or like a couple monogram, you hang it up in your house. Like women mostly do the decorating. I don't think it necessarily started with like shirts and clothing. I think it started with like household apparel and bags, which are like kind of a woman-dominated thing. Sarah Baby said we're like peacocks, we like to stand out. I love it. I like the term branding yourself. I love that, man. I think monograms are so cool. Like, in this age of like NFTs and like one-of-one cards and like rareness and like trying to have like the original unique stuff. Like, how cool is it to have a shirt for the 4th of July? You're with 4 friends. You guys all have a shirt that says like "Go America," whatever. All of you are a different design, but your design has your initials in it. Your monogram. That's so cool. Like, I love that. Like, it adds an element of style and, like, coolness. Just straight up coolness. Like, whatever's cool, a backwards hat, a sideways hat, a backpack, like, what's cool, it just means, like, that it's cool because it's in style or whatever. Like, bell bottoms or not bell bottoms or skinny jeans, like whatever's in style, it's like, oh, it's in style, you're wearing what's in style, that's cool. Like, that means like, okay, that person, like, they know what's going on. That's, if you have your monogram, that means like you know what's going on. It's so cool. Like, you're just a sweatshirt, and everyone has sweatshirts, but like yours has your monogram on it. Like, how organized are you? How slick are you? How cool are you to be able to do that? I do love that about monograms. I really do. So, if a monogram is like your personal brand, boom, baby. I mean, search what is a monogram. You'll find our YouTube video. It's like, we're done with cartoons. I created the YouTube video with the number one goal of when someone searches monograms, what is a monogram? I want our YouTube video to show up. So I did it, and I like wrote the script of it. And it says on there, like, your monogram is your personal brand. I wrote that script, baby. I love monograms, man. Like, I do. I seriously do. It also seems like something boutique, like only rich people do. A bougie, like yeah,
bougie,
yeah. Like some people
That's
too
my
hot
theory.
to stamp their some people too hot to stamp their luxury bags. But what about like a luxury bag with your monogram on it? That's even like cool. Like, I agree that it's bougie because bougie's like, I'm fancy, I'm cool. Like, and it's always changing like what the specifics of it are. But like, you wake up, you're throwing a sweatshirt. It's got your fucking name on it. Like, it's so cool. And not only is it a name, it's like your monogram, which means like another level of like my last name's in the middle, and then you see someone else who knows what the monogram is. They're like, it just brings like something into the conversation. They can kind of know what your name is. Like, I wish everyone had a monogram on all the time. I wouldn't forget people's like names or initials, or like it just says something about you. So yeah, branding yourself gives you the confidence and pride to wear your own name. Okay, I think now you're just copying my script. Some people like to stamp their hot luxury bags. Yeah, that's interesting because like I don't think a lot of monogram companies like to take other people's things and monogram it, but like we'd have to like get like bulk Louis Vuitton bags or whatever.
I think we're hitting something though. It is like a bougie feeling that you have your own personal clothing.
Yes.
And I think women like that. Yeah.
It's your own personal clothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool to me. Like, how are we not bigger? How are like, and
that's why I asked the other question about how you stomp the other
and like, man, like,
out. Yeah.
How is that different for a guy or a girl? It's not. Why don't guys wear more monogram stuff? I mean, for me, it would be because like I'm not bougie enough. Like it's work. It takes effort to get that on your clothing, which like, I mean, obviously could do it. The only reason we don't do more man monogram stuff, and hey, if there's one guy on this planet that can make male monograms a trend, I mean, I'm gotta be up there, right?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be up there. So, the thing is, like, our site is pink and curly, and it's so easy to run the Facebook ads and target them to girls. It's exactly like what Sarah Baby was talking about with starting a market that doesn't exist. There's an education gap. There's a risk there with starting a style that doesn't already, like, have a foundational market.
Yeah. America does still have an educational gap for monograms, like West Coast, Midwest.
Right,
yeah,
right. And I wonder why, I've thought about this a lot, like why aren't they more popular on the West Coast and the Northeast as they are in the South? And I don't know if there's a great answer besides for the fact that just like they somehow caught on there. I
have a theory.
What is it? What's your theory?
The theory is it started from, the big families and like plantations and just having that big name in the town.
The middle letters, the last name, which is the biggest.
Yeah, and then the woman married into the family, so she's dominant.
So it's kind of have to do with like big Southern families and heritage.
Yeah.
The word heritage is much more.
That's what it is.
The word heritage, I don't even know what that word means, but it's much more a Southern word than it is like a Northern word. Yeah.
Like the wife of a plantation owner, like 100 years after she died, if she saw that bag of her monogram, that's like, oh, that's the family.
Yeah.
Of
I don't know the definition of heritage, but it's. I mean, people all over love their families and traditions.
And I think that's a Southern.
There's something about let's look up the definition of the word heritage real quick because it's a fascinating word. Heritage. What is the definition of heritage?
Maybe it's the pride of family.
Heritage is a person's unique inherited sense of family identity.
Pride.
The values, tradition, culture, and artifacts handed down by previous generations. Some families define their heritage primarily to their ethnic, cultural, or national identity. Yeah. That might be where like the Southern history part of it comes into it that's like not so redeeming. But there's nothing bad about loving your family, of course. So heritage is why it's Southern. Irish and Mexican men love branding their last name. That's interesting because I get some ads on social media sometimes that say like, you're a Lowry, and obviously it's for a shirt, and obviously that's someone targeting the ad to people with the last name Lowry, which is a very targeted ad. But you know what? They always Irish, like Shamrock shirts. You're right. You're right.
Cultures that have a sense of heritage.
But Mexican,
they have a sense of heritage. Like
Mexican
family.
people wear like their names.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine like. I'm not stereotyping here,
culture,
but like I'm trying to like think of like a Mexican guy like from Mexico who has like his name on his clothing. I can't really envision that as much.
Well, they're like cowboys and stuff like that. They have personal clothing that they probably do have their
cowboys are American, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about Mexican cowboys and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it goes up there.
Yeah.
Up and down the center of the country. Start the trend, Sean. I just have to.
If it's not you, then who?
I don't know if monogram is going to be a guy thing as much. It's a last name. See, the thing about monograms for girls is last name in the middle. Guys' monograms are 3 letters across, all the same height. And the last name in the middle is the biggest. Like little a, big L, little a. Like a guy, and this is, I didn't create this, but like this is how it is. And you can shift markers if you want, but a guy's like 3 letters, last name at the end, all straight across. That's like how it currently is. And they might get them on like their thing here.
Yeah.
But like if I try to make monograms a thing for guys, right? Like, should I put the last name in the middle? Or at the end? Or should I just make it just the last name?
Why do they do it in the middle?
Because it's the biggest. They put it in the middle because it's the biggest one. And it's like it's a visual look. It's like a diamond, like middle, big. So it looks better when the big one's in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle's the last name, which is the most important. I've thought about the monograms a lot.
I can imagine so.
I can say that because I'm Mexican. All right. The Mexicans tattoo their last names. Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I can't really capitalize on that with the current industry. All right.
Who wins? I had a good question. Sarah had a good question.
Sarah, baby.
All right. $50 richer.
Sarah, baby, you're the champ. Peace out.